What's up, Vault Dwellers? Dan here. Today we're going to rewind the tape back to August 6, 1945, the day the atomic bomb turned the sky into fire over Hiroshima. And just like that, humanity went from sticks and stones to press one button and the end of the world happened. That mind-melting reality, it didn't just change geopolitics, it infected every corner of pop culture, especially the movies. The 1950s birthed a whole new subgenre of cinema where radiation didn't just cause sunburns, it created monsters. We're talking giant ants, killer lizards, and a metric ton of sweaty scientists asking, what have we done? So today, we're gonna crack open the first canister in a multi-part series on atomic age cinema. From Japan to the U.S., from dead serious allegories to foam rubber monsters, these 10 flicks defined our nuclear nightmares. So grab your Geiger counter and duck under your desk.
Linda, we've done it.
Dear Lord, don't make us sorry.
Red Planet Mars. It's what happens when Cold War paranoia, religious revival, and ex-Nazi scientists get tossed in a blender, and somehow that blender gets government funding. The plot follows American scientists who receive cryptic radio messages from Mars, claiming their civilization has solved war, poverty, and energy through Christianity. Yep, the Martians have Jesus and free power.
The Martians have now announced that for the past 3 centuries, they haven't used coal, oil, electricity, any form of power on which we rely. Theirs has all been provided by cosmic energy.
This sets off a global religious awakening, collapses communism, and by the third act, we're knee-deep in geopolitical mayhem, sabotage, and a little bit of conspiracy involving former Nazi engineers just faking the whole thing.
Eugenia, this time you'd better get your masters on the phone. Cronin's just received a message from Mars. That's a sensation.
It's atomic age cinema at its most ideologically caffeinated. The film's core message, that faith and technology, they go hand in hand. It lands with all the subtlety of a mushroom cloud. It's not just sci-fi, it's sermon meets spy thriller with a B-movie budget. Then what makes it fascinating isn't whether it's good, but how sincerely it grapples with the fear that science without morality might just doom us all. It's like the day the Earth stood still, but if Gort had a Bible. Is it heavy-handed? Yeah, absolutely. But in the world of 1950s atomic cinema, that kind of ideological blunt force trauma, it was kind of the norm. And Red Planet Mars, it swings for the nuclear fences.
Now I have the only authentic, genuine picture of the planet Mars. What a thrill, what a fun to send home to those people.
The day the Earth stood still kicks off with a flying saucer landing smack in the middle of Washington, D.C., which causes about as much calm as you'd expect. So tanks roll in, crowds panic, and the alien inside gets shot within 5 minutes. Kind of a great start, you know, Earth. So enter Klaatu. He's the silver-suited alien with a warning. Humanity's trigger-happy nuclear hobby, it's putting the whole galaxy at risk.
I come to you as a last resort, and I confess my patience is wearing thin. Must I take drastic action in order to get a hearing?
What sort of action do you mean?
Violent action.
Either we get our act together, or Gort, his towering death ray-eyed robot, he's gonna put us on permanent timeout. This isn't your typical monster of the week atomic age flick. Instead of mutated bugs or rampaging beasts, the real threat here, it's ourselves.
Is it different where you've been? Don't they have places like this?
Well, they have cemeteries, but not like this one. You see, they don't have any wars.
Gee, that's a good idea.
Michael Rennie plays Klaatu like a cosmic parent disappointed in his kids, and the message lands kinda hard. Either evolve or die. The film's religious undertones are super deliberate. From Klaatu's alias, Mr. Carpenter, to his resurrection moment, giving it a spiritual weight beyond its sci-fi trappings. You know what makes this movie stand out to me? It's how it flips the atomic fear on its head. Instead of showing what a bomb might unleash, it asks if we're mature enough to even have the bomb at all. It's a cautionary tale wrapped in tinfoil and some grace.
How could they make a landing?
Well, there are several ways to reduce landing speed. See, the basic problem is to overcome the inertia and...
Keep going, mister. He was falling for it.
A frozen alien ship in the Arctic, a bunch of scientists who can't agree on anything, and a creature with a taste for blood. The Thing from Another World? It's a masterclass in simmering paranoia. So when a crew at a remote outpost thaws out a UFO occupant, just all hell breaks loose. The alien, played by a barely recognizable James Arnaz, isn't here to chat. He's here to feed.
You're wiser than anything on Earth. Use that intelligence. Look at me and know what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not your enemy. I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist who's trying.
This movie, it's not about atomic bombs, but you can still feel the nuclear-era tension just pulsing under every scene. The argument between those who want to study the creature and those who want to kill it, it echoes the real-world debate over how to handle emerging existential threats.
We don't know what effect the air of our Earth may have on this creature's remains.
Sort of go up in smoke, like the saucer, huh?
Nonsense.
Isn't that a little far-fetched?
So is a man from Mars.
We're getting nowhere.
You know, you add in just isolation, claustrophobia, and just this like constant mistrust. You've got this perfect metaphor for Cold War anxiety. And the final line, watch the skies, it just says it all. We weren't just afraid of bombs. We were afraid of what else might come with them.
Attention everybody in camp. Stay where you are and bolt your doors. Our visitor has returned and is dangerous. Stay where you are until notified and bolt your doors. Stay where you are.
An atomic test goes boom in the Arctic and wakes up a massive prehistoric Rhedosaurus, who decide to take a scenic and destructive tour down the eastern seaboard. Eventually, it stomps its way into New York City and spreads a deadly disease through its blood.
Jack, there's only one way to beat him.
How?
Radioactive isotope. Shoot it into him and destroy all that diseased tissue.
This requires another dose of radiation to put it down, because in this movie, nuclear mess can only be cleaned up by more nuclear mess. The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms is a landmark monster movie, and not just because it got released before Godzilla. It was the first to pair nuclear testing with the giant creature rising from the deep plotline, launching an entire subgenre. The real MVP, of course, is Ray Harryhausen, whose stop-motion creature work brings the Rhedosaurus to life with personality and power. It's scary, but it's also weirdly sympathetic, and it's not bad for a rubbery dinosaur. The film doesn't dwell on morality much, but its message is clear. If we mess with nature, nature messes back. What if Cold War went hot and the Soviets dropped nukes on America? Well, that's the nightmare invasion U.S.A. plays out. But with a twist. This all takes place in a hypnotically induced vision, shown to bar patrons by a mysterious stranger. 1 minute they're drinking cocktails, the next they're living through air raids, collapsing cities, and some martial law. And when the vision ends, they all agree to get serious about patriotism. It's basically a public service announcement disguised as a thriller. You've got stock footage that does the heavy lifting here during the destruction scenes. And the dialogue is just pure red-blooded propaganda. But it's fascinating in its own way. It's a movie trying to weaponize fear to encourage civil defense and military readiness.
What's the chance of hiring your cab to drive me to Arizona?
It's clunky, sure, but it's also like revealing a snapshot of how scared people really were. If you want to know what atomic anxiety looks like in propaganda form, this here, it's your case study.
More than 30,000 dead were the victims of the A bombing of New York City when an enemy plane pierced our defenses and dropped its deadly cargo late last night.
Them begins with one of the most haunting images in atomic-era cinema. You have a traumatized little girl who's found wandering in the New Mexico desert, and she's clutching a busted doll and just staring into nothing. It turns out she's the sole survivor of an ant attack. And not just any ant attack. These are super-sized, irradiated monsters courtesy of nuclear testing. As the ants grow in number and ambition, it's up to a trio of scientists and some square-jawed government agents to stop them before they colonize the world. You know, this isn't just a giant bug movie. It's the giant bug movie. Them set the bar for creature features forever, combining serious storytelling with surprisingly effective practical effects. The giant ants were full-size animatronic props, and while they may not scurry convincingly by today's standards, back then, their physical presence was so deeply unsettling. What really makes this film pop, though, it's how straight it plays the whole thing. I mean, there's no wink-wink jokes or camp here.
They have already killed a number of persons. Stay in your homes, I repeat. Stay in your homes. Your personal safety, the safety of the entire city, depends upon your full cooperation with the military authorities.
This is just a cold, clinical look at how man-made monsters could spiral out of control. It treats its threats like a scientific problem, which in my opinion, makes it even scarier. The idea that atomic tinkering could rewrite the rules of nature, it was terrifying back in '54, and honestly, I think it still is. Them isn't just entertaining, it's a warning wrapped in a warning wrapped in bug guts. Rocketship X-M takes a detour from the moon and crash lands squarely into atomic age paranoia. We have a crew of American astronauts who set out for a lunar mission, but only to get knocked off course and end up on Mars. There, they find a civilization that's been wiped out by nuclear war, with only a few survivors left who have been reduced to cave-dwelling mutants living among radioactive ruins. So yeah, this really isn't exactly a sightseeing trip. This was rushed into production to beat Destination Moon to theaters, and Rocketship X-M, it beats its rival in emotional punch. The Martian landscapes, which were shot in sepia tones, are really haunting and effective and create this like ghostly sense of what could happen to us if we don't wise up. The message, it's not subtle. Mars is Earth's future if we keep playing with atomic fire.
We must report everything. Tell them as much as we can. What we saw. The mistakes that we made.
The film dared to imagine humanity blowing itself back to the Stone Age, and it did this just like 5 years after Hiroshima. And for 1950, that's a pretty bold move. I mean, sure, the effects, they're dated, and the science is, we'll say, enthusiastic at best. But the film's melancholy warning, it lingers long after the credits roll. In the movie When Worlds Collide, the end of the world isn't a question of if, but exactly how many days do we have left. When scientists discover a rogue star and its planet are barreling towards Earth, the countdown begins. With only months to go, the world's best minds race to build a space ark to transport a handful of lucky survivors to a new world. And the rest of us, well, good luck to us.
Those who will make the flight will be chosen by lot sometime before the worlds collide. Now, only about 40 persons can be taken. And already there are more than 600 people working on this project.
This one's less about nuclear war and more about the mindset it created. The idea that humanity might have to start over from scratch became a major theme in atomic age cinema. The moral questions it raises are deliciously uncomfortable. Who gets saved? Who decides? And can we really build something better, or are we doomed to repeat the same mistakes with shinier rockets? This was produced by George Powell and packed with Oscar-winning effects. The exploding Earth shot still hits today. This is one of the few movies of its era that dares to go beyond full apocalypse. It's a disaster movie with a science fiction soul, and in the shadow of the bomb, it hits dangerously close to home. Just don't look up.
Millions of dollars for a false alarm. Ottinger called you a crackpot. I think all you scientists are crackpots. Nothing is going to happen.
Dr. Cargraves, Mr. Barnes. Yes? I'm in contact with Washington. There's terrific excitement on Earth. We're hooked up to all the networks. They just interviewed the general. They want to interview you and Mr. Barnes, Doc.
Destination Moon trades irradiated monsters for real-world ambition. It's all about the race to space. A team of American industrialists and scientists band together to build a rocket to the moon, hoping to beat foreign powers and claim lunar real estate before someone else plants their flag. But lurking beneath all this gee-whiz science and technical talk, it's a clear Cold War undercurrent. If we don't get there first, they will, and then we're all in trouble.
Now look, there's no law against taking off a spaceship. It's never been done, so they haven't gotten around to prohibiting it. If we ask for permission, they'll find a way to block us. So we go now, as soon as we can.
This one plays like a NASA training video disguised as sci-fi adventure, but that was actually the point. This was basically a recruiting poster for the space race, years before Sputnik. The film doesn't shy away from showing the dangers of space travel, but it does frame them as necessary risks in the fight for strategic superiority. This movie doesn't feature atomic bombs, but their shadow looms over everything. The moon isn't just a destination, it's a launch pad.
The first country that can use the moon for the launching of missiles will control the Earth. That, gentlemen, is the most important military fact of this century.
Destination Moon may not thrill modern audiences, but it perfectly captures an era when rocketry, nationalism, and nuclear fears were all orbiting the same planet.
By the grace of God, and the name of the United States of America, I take possession of this planet on behalf of and for the benefit of all mankind.
¡Huyamos!
Godzilla doesn't just stomp on Tokyo. He stomps right into the global consciousness as the atomic age's most iconic metaphor. When a series of fishing boats are mysteriously destroyed, it soon becomes clear something ancient has awakened from the ocean depths, and it's pissed. Godzilla is the walking embodiment of nuclear horror, brought to life by American bomb tests in the Pacific. He doesn't just smash cities, he leaves radiation sickness and moral dread in every step. Made less than a decade after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, this film does not play around. Director Shiro Honda treats the subject with reverence and rage. The destruction of Tokyo is filmed like a war zone, not a comic book. The special effects may look hokey to some today, but the emotion behind the rubble is super real. This isn't escapism. It's a nation processing its trauma through rubber monsters and radioactive breath. Godzilla isn't just a creature feature, it's a cultural exorcism, and it still hits like an aftershock today. The 1950s gave us a cinematic survival guide to living under the nuclear shadow. These movies weren't just about thrills. They were how people processed the unthinkable, one monster at a time. The atomic age, it didn't just reshape the world, it reshaped storytelling. These flicks warned us, they thrilled us, and sometimes they made us laugh when we were too scared to scream. So stick around for part 2 as we head into more paranoia, more weird science. Keep it weird, folks.
That's Los Angeles. That's New York.
Can you see Brooklyn?
Sure, there's Brooklyn.
I wonder who's pitching.